Hey guys, Putzelman 945 here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, what I'm going to be doing is making another roommate tier list because I had a lot of fun with the Star Wars characters one. So this time we are going to do it with One Piece characters. Now the tiers are basically the same as last time. We got the best roommate. Um, I'm only going to put a few in here, like maybe I know I did quite a few last time, but I'm gonna try and limit this to like top five or seven. And then we have great roommate, decent roommate, me, slash some minor issues, not happening, and then I am dead. I feel like pretty self-explanatory. Absalom, not happening. No. In fact, actually, I didn't think I would need to do this, but like I'm gonna make I'm gonna make a new tier, like a special tier for I would want to die because Absalom absolutely that was not intentional, by the way. Uh Absalom absolutely fits into that cat. Sorry, I had to look at the DM. Yeah, Absalom would be super fucking annoying. That is not that is like never happening. I would want to kill myself over Absalom. Also, I would probably get arrested, but because of the stuff he would do anyways. Um, Now Ace, I think okay. Now, I okay. I do feel like I have to set some guidelines here. We are not basing this. Number one, we're not basing this off canon heights of the characters because, like, okay, he's 6'1", but like how tall is Dofi? Dofi's 10 feet. Like we the, this is why. Okay, first thing we are not taking into consideration canon heights because if that was the case, then like 90% of these would be unlivable because of the absolutely insane heights that like canonical heights that One Piece characters have. So we are not taking that into consideration here. Um, just pretending that they are like normal human size, approximately. The second big guideline is that they will control their devil fruits within the environment, or at least if I think they will. And I think Ace will, and because he's got the flame fruit, that I think he could help with cooking and everything like that. Could maybe do some welding. I think Ace would be a great roommate. Alvida, no, not happening. Um Alvida has way too much of an ego that would just be absolutely insufferable. Um and and like the whole devil fruit. What the fuck? I don't care about this Mazda. Oh, I wish the X button worked properly, but it. Yes, there we go. Okay, it has such a specific like click ratio. Okay. Um, she would have. Oh my god! Come on, man. Get off my screen. If it shows up again, I'll just deal with it. Um. Okay. Yeah. Has an insane ego. just not compatible whatsoever. Um, okay, Kuzan. Um, Kuzan would be uh Kuzan's kind of tricky. Kuzan would be extremely chill. Um, but I feel like he would be a bit lazy because I I feel like Puzan is one of those guys that would sleep like all day, every day, and might possibly forget the rent slash helping out with household chores. I'm gonna put him in mid. Because, I think he'd be a chill guy, but I think he might like be kind of forgetful and lazy. Scratchman a poo, hell no, that is never happening. Not only does like Alvida, he has a extreme ego, but dude, he would totally be the kind of roommate that plays music at all hours of the day and night and not give a single F about your sleep quality whatsoever. That's not happening. Um, Arlong, actually, no, Arlong, I am just straight up hate. Because he's a fifth man, so therefore, no one hates humans to begin with. He has a giant saw blade thing, um, that could murder me in like one or two flashes. He also has extreme anger issues and would most definitely completely destroy the apartment. Hmm. Now, Buggy is a weird one because yes, Buggy has a massive ego, but like I, I feel like Buggy is a situation where if he left me to my own devices, and I left him to his own devices, whatever evil plotting, stealing that might involve. As long as I'm not involved with any of that garbage, then I don't think it would be that bad because Buggy to me, unlike some of these other characters that have extreme egos, he doesn't strike me as someone that would intentionally want to intrude on your space. It seems like he wants his own privacy and I want mine. And I feel like there would be at least a tiny modicum of respect there. I'm gonna put him up in decent roommate. Um, Whitebeard, great room. And actually, what I'm gonna do is at the end of this, I'm gonna take like my favorites from this tier and move like five or so of them up here. I think that's what I'm gonna do. But Whitebeard's honestly already a contender for up there. Again, not taking canonical size or Devil Fruit into account here, because if if he uses Delphi, it would wipe out the entire block, not just an apartment. Um, not just a singular apartment unit. But um Whitebeard, I feel like, not only is he such a good, like, father figure and whatnot, he's incredibly strong for his old age. He's a total badass. It would be super cool to be able to talk to him about all of his, like, old, like, stories and whatnot. Um, and yeah, I think that Whitebeard would be a fantastic roommate. Okay. Bartolomeo. Um Bartolomeo. So the amount of Luffy glazing would be absolutely absurd. Um, but I think it's another case, kind of like with Buggy, where if you don't if you both are like left to your own devices and he doesn't get in my business too much, I don't think I'd mind it. I think he'd be decent because other than that, and him being a little bit immature in public, if I was in the store at the same time, I would just act like I don't know him. But that kind of strategy, basically. Because other than those things, I think he's kind of chill. Ben Beckman goes in meh because like I simply do not care. Um, I'll put him in the middle because I simply do not have any other opinions on him. Okay. Pesci. All right. Um, Beji is very hard because, like, I don't want to get arrested because I was part of some mafia gang. Um, so um, I think he's a nice guy. He's clearly very like family oriented, because he's good to his wife and kid. But like the mafia business, I'm not a fan of. And I don't know, him walking around talking to like the troopers at his castle and then them like randomly appearing around the apartment would not be like very convenient. I'm just saying not happening because I think he's a nice guy, but I don't want to get arrested for mafia shit, and I think there's way too many problems that happen with that. Bellamy is never happening because not only is he extremely annoying, super high strung, has a crazy ego, but also his devil fruit would literally destroy an apartment in seconds. Like him just springing around the place, even if it's just like a little bit of distance on the floor. How is that not ruining the floors? That is not happening. Okay, back into the recording. Sorry, I had to use the bathroom quickly. Um, okay. I think the last one we had was Dolly. Okay. We will continue now with Bellamy. Um, so obviously this is excluding uh uh her having kids. Because me personally, like, if he has business or I mean if she has kids, then that is not really for me. But, if it's just like her on her own, I think she's a great roommate. Because she's super chill and relaxed. She's able to defend the household because she has like marine training and such. Um, yeah, not much to say. Like honestly, like I would bump it down a tier, but like even if she had kids, I don't think it would be that bad. It's just not for me, which is why I would bump it down a tier. But considering it without, I think she'd be a great roommate. Okay, Beppo. All right. So obviously, the a tricky thing about the minks is the fact that they are all animals. Um, uh, so uh, like there is the thing, there is the issue of the fact that they get like animal hair everywhere. Um, which is why I'm gonna put Beppo there. Okay. Big Mom, I think I'm dead. Just straight up. Like, if not immediately, then it's gonna happen at some point. I'm gonna get eaten. That is just a simple fact. That's easy. Um, okay, Bluto. All right. So, um, the biggest issue with Bruno that I could see is the fact that he will use his fruit to open doors where you don't want doors to be opened. So like, he could be like, um like he could be very nosy, and even if you lock your door, he could just enter through his own door using his devil fruit. Um, I I don't I'm gonna put him in meh because like other than that, which is a bit of an issue, I don't think it'd be that bad. But it's too big of an issue for me to put him up a decent rank. Blackbeard, I'm dead. Just just straight up. Like Blackbeard, as soon as he moves in, has got some kind of evil manipulative scheme for me that involves me just being dead. Um, um, yeah. I think I'm just dead. Like, even if he doesn't have the quake fruit, like, he's torturing me by like just trapping all my favorite stuff in with the dark fruit. Like, no, that would be miserable. I'm dead. um, all right. Now we have Bonnie. Okay, so obviously the biggest issue with this is that actually no, Bonnie goes right there. Like I'm not even taking any other part into consideration because she is literally 12 years old. A 12-year-old cannot move into their own apartment. So therefore, like, that regardless of her quality as a roommate, like as an adult, I don't care that her devil fruit allows her to age because of the fact that she is legally 12. It's not happening. Not happening at all. Um. Okay. Rocky. Okay. All right. So Brocky is really hard because um I like obviously I said one of the baselines for this video is we're not considering canonical heights. Oh, one how many feet? Even tell I'm American because I don't know the centimeters to feet. 33 feet tall. Okay. Yeah, that would not happen if he was canonical size, which, like I said, as per the baseline of this video, we are not assuming canonical heights here. Um, but like even with that, I'm kind of conflicted. I feel like I feel like it's a case of either Dory would not be home most of the time, or I mean Groggy, because he would be trying to fight Dory like literally all the freaking time. Or um or or like he would get so like antsy from not being able to fight something or be able to do something that he would try and destroy the apartment as a result. So for me that's going there. Um okay. Jesus Burgess. Honestly, like I I Jesus Burgess has insane anger. Jesus Burgess, in my opinion, is kind of similar to Arlong because he he has a crazy ego. He has insane anger issues, and um, and he is incredibly destructive. I think he would probably just try to murder me. Okay. Jesus Burgess never happening. Um, because I'll tell you this right now, there is no way in hell that Jesus Burgess ever fucking showers. Like at all. He cares way too much about showing off his own physique that he would make the apartment smell like absolute shit. That is not happening. Also, I think that like in an effort to show his strength, there's a good chance that he would like constantly try and toss around furniture, or he would try and like rearrange the apartment against what I want without me knowing. That is not happening on so many levels. Um, okay. Excuse me. Um, all right. Next up, we have Cavendish. Um, so Cavendish is not happening. Actually, hmm, I'm debating on putting Cavendish down here because of Hakuba, and you know what? I think I will. Just because of the randomness, I think there's a pretty damn good chance that I just end up dead, which I definitely do not want to happen. But the other reason that I would have put him in not happening anyway is because he has like one of the biggest egos in all of One Piece. Um, and he also has absolutely ridiculous beauty standards. And I feel like he would be intolerable to live with because not only would he most definitely hold me up to the same beauty standards, even though I don't want to, slash, I wouldn't care. Number two, he would totally flood the bathroom with tons of expensive products that I would just never give a flying fuck about at all. Um, yeah. But again, all of that is assuming that Hakuba doesn't awake in his sleep and kill me first. Um, okay, I gotta make a new tier for some of these that I don't remember. I don't remember what her name is, and I might get her mixed up with her sister, which I don't want to happen. So all right. Okay, so Don Xinjiao, I feel like is a very similar situation to Bragi because like how tall is Don Xinjiao? Curious about this. 5 meters. Okay, 5.2 meters to feet. 17 feet. Okay, so yeah, obviously that would not fly canonic heights. But the big reason that I don't think Don Xinjiao like Broad would work is because even less than like, I actually think he's much worse of an option than Broggy, to be honest, because not only does he have pretty bad anger issues, he's also pretty destructive, especially with that horn thing on his head. Like, even if we shrink his height down to a reasonable human size, like, there's no way that thing doesn't completely destroy the ceiling. Um, and even if he doesn't have that, and his like he would probably try and like headbutt the wall. Like he would still be extremely destructive. Um, and I think the biggest thing is, if I say it's almost tempting to say I would die, but I don't think it's quite bad enough for that. But like I feel like if I accidentally say something wrong that like offends his family honor or something like that, then I'm in for very extreme punishment. So that is definitely a not happening thing. Um, okay, Hopper. I think Chopper would be a fantastic roommate. Not only is he a doctor, so I would like never need to go to the hospital unless it's something he doesn't happen to know about. Um, but like, he's he's adorable, first off. And he is super chill. He's such a good buddy to hang out with. Um, like Chopper would be amazing roommate. Um, okay. Um, Cracker. All right. So, um, a big positive of Cracker, I will say, is that he has he has like basically an unlimited food supply, essentially, because his entire body can like he can constantly just make new crackers. So I feel like, you know, eventually you get sick of eating that. But that is like an emergency food option. Um um but feel like with Cracker, like he has a big ego, but like other than that, I also don't know much about him. I'm gonna put him in mid because I think there's like a potential big positive and a potential big negative. So he goes right in the middle for me. Um, Crocodile. Okay. Um, so Crocodile, um, well, so this is going to be such a weirdly specific reference, but if you think, and it's totally not related to One Piece at all, but if you think back to Spider-Man No Way Home, when all the different like villains are in Peter Parker's apartment, and then Sandman is getting sand all over the couch, I feel like Crocodile would present a similar issue. Like not only that, but I also feel like, Crocodile would not care at all about your privacy, your business, like your things. Like he wouldn't care whether he made messes or not. I honestly, I think Crocodile would be like a fucking awful roommate, and that's not even considering like the fact that he probably had shady business I might get arrested for on the side with like the whole Baroque works thing and whatnot, and like exploiting people and such. So yeah, absolutely not a crocodile. Okay, Crocus. Um, Crocus. I think Crocus would be a decent roommate. I think the only potential issue is that he might be a little bit lazy and forget rent on time sometimes. But I think he's a super chill guy that just doesn't really care about anything. Okay. Des Bones. Um, Hmm. So Daz Bones' power, obviously, it's very multi-purpose, you know. Like him using the blades, obviously fantastic for cooking. He could handle the cooking while I handle the rest of the chores potentially. Um, I can't really see that many downsides to Dad's Bones, honestly. Like, I don't think he has like that crazy of an ego. I think the only issue is like if you do something to annoy him, then he becomes insufferable. But like if you don't do that, then I honestly think he's a decent roommate. Dofi, I'm dead. I do not need to say any more about that. Dory goes right next to Broggy for the same exact reasoning that I mentioned earlier. Um, Dragon is never happening because I do not want to be a roommate with someone who is plotting a revolution. Um, Also, there might be the fact that he holds like revolutionary meetings at the apartment, which I do not want to happen. There's a very good chance that, random people will show up out of nowhere. I have no clue who they are. That's not happening. I don't know why two and Nels were on this, so I'm gonna put the second one right there. Okay. Next Drake. Next Drake would be so boring. Um, it's- oh my God, this guy would be the most boring person ever. Literally, like the most boring roommate you could probably possibly think of. Um, like, he would have just no enthusiasm, I think, about like fucking anything. Also, there's the fact that he can just turn into a dinosaur. I don't want him as a roommate. And now I think I'm dead. Um, and then Foxy gets the second illustrious position of I would want to kill myself. Fujitora. Okay. So I feel like I I would love to put Fujitora in Great Roommate, but I think that I think I think the primary issue with Fujitora is his gambling problem, which would not be that big of an issue except for the fact that he might miss rent. And But like other than that, I'm still putting Fujitora up here because I think that he is such a chill guy and his personality is so nice. He would be a great dude to talk to, like just if he can get over his gambling obsession. Uh, Fukuro, oh my god. I would want to kill myself, like actually. This guy is so annoying. And he's like constantly floating all over the place, doing whatever the hell he wants. That no. Okay, Gar. All right. Um, so I would have to convince him to like go to like a boxing gym or something and not like train his fists in the apartment because even more than Whitebeard's Quake Fruit, he could literally like wipe out an entire city with one of his punches. Um so if as long as I can convince him to do that and he doesn't try and punch anything in the apartment, um, which I don't see happening because, like, unlike the people down here, Gump doesn't really get anger issues that much. I think possibly the biggest thing with Garp is he might just be a little bit careless with some things, but I think Garp would be a decent roommate. Um, oh man, what is his name? Oh, it's like right on the tip of my tongue. What is his freaking name? Oh no, wait, I'm thinking the wrong thing. Kokoyashi Villain Citizens. Genzo, that's his name. Okay, all right. Okay, we're back. I had to look something else up. Yeah, Genzo. Okay. So Genzo, I think Genzo. I don't see any reason why he can't go in Great Roommate. Honestly, like, um, for one thing, he's an extremely normal human. He is also he's an extremely responsible person. He cared about Nami a lot. So, he'd be a nice, caring guy. He'd be very responsible with like chores and rent and payment and all that. He'd be a great roommate, to be honest. Um, okay, is that Hajrian? Okay. So I think assuming this is Hajrud, it definitely it looks like Hajrudin a lot based on the picture. Um assuming this is Hajrudin, I think he's definitely a step above Dorian Groggy. Because he's Hajrudin, I feel like does not want to fight that much, and he's not as inherently destructive, especially with like the whole thing in Elbaf about him being part of the new giant pirates that are more dedicated toward peace than piracy. Um, so, when you take all of that into consideration, plus his strength as a giant, I actually think he'd be a decent roommate. Answering some DMs. Okay. Um, hmm, okay. Ola Hancock. Hmm. Ola Hancock. Um, okay. So, obviously, the big issue with Boa in any situation is her devil fruit because um personally I don't really like Boa as a waifu that much. Um but like, I also I don't really know my own base instincts like that crazy well. So there's a chance I might like unintentionally be turned into stone. So honestly, I'm gonna put Boa down there. Sorry. I know there's a lot of cuts in this video. I had to get some water that time. Yeah, I think I'm dead. Hawkins, I would want to kill myself. He's that annoying of a fucker. Moving on. No other explanation needed, to be honest. Okay. Helmeppo. So, um, if we're talking about like beginning of the story, like Shell's Island Helmeppo, then absolutely not. But you know, I'm taking this off of like their most current appearance in the story. So I think based on that logic, I think Helmeppo actually would be a great roommate. I think he's extremely friendly. He's a very nice guy. He clearly cares a lot. Um, I think he's the type of guy that would love to help you in a lot of situations. I think Helmeppo would honestly make a great roommate. Higuma, absolutely not. Higuma would be a horrible roommate. And actually, I'm just gonna change this to a horrible roommate. Um, 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 uh, because um, he is a Helmeppo is a bad excuse me he is a bad uh person, and he probably hasn't showered, and he would probably try to hold me for ransom. So hell no. Same thing with Hina. Her personality is awful. Um, okay, Iceberg, I think would make a decent roommate. Because I think um um what's my favorite word there? Um, I, I think the only issue with Iceberg is that he is kind of childish. So I think he might get like spun up over having to do chores or something like that. But otherwise, he's a very professional guy. Um, if you want to hang out, he'll probably cancel all his other plans for you, or vice versa. Um, so he probably wouldn't be too dependable for plans, but that's fine. Um, I think other than him being maybe a little bit childish, I think he'd be a decent roommate. Um, okay. EPG, horrible. EPG has a massive ego. And honestly, that's the main reason is because he has a massive ego. Um, I genuinely do not know enough about Ideo to rank him properly, so I'm gonna put him mid. Um, who is that? Is that Inazuma? That's his name. Um, Inazuma, I think, is a tad eccentric. Um, but as long as his scissors don't like cut up the walls or anything, I think he'd be a decent roommate. Um, so with Ivankov, I think Ivankov is like the more crazy version of Inazuma as a roommate because um they're obviously both part of the whole Kamabaka Queendom thing. Um, and I'm all for that. I I think the only like minor issue with Ivankov is the fact that Ivankov like loves hanging out with all of his like friends and whatnot in his fellow like queens in the queendom and stuff like that. Um, I think the only issue with that is I feel like there would be a lot of uninvited parties all the time, and that would lead to messes not cleaning up. So I'm putting him in mid for that reason. But I don't think he would be a horrible roommate. But I think that issue is enough to bring him down slightly from Inazuma's level. What is that? Is that Jabra? It looks like a wolf with a human musk muscle, so I'm assuming this is Jabra. Um, I don't think Jabba would be a good roommate. I think he has a big ego, and I think he would be lazy. Also the wolf musk would probably smell disgusting. I don't remember who that is. Okay, Jozu. Jozu, I don't really know enough about him, to be honest, to be able to rank him properly. Uh, okay. Judge? Judge would be a horrible roommate. Yeah. Yeah. Um, because I feel like Judge would try and you try and do some kind of illegal experiment for one. That feels like a almost definite. Um, but I think the other big issue with Judge is the fact that I think he would just be incredibly mean and demeaning. Like not unlike a lot of these other characters that just have massive insufferable egos. He is straight up mean. Like I feel like he would personally take the time out of his day to insult me multiple times, and they would be incredibly hurtful insults. Um, Um, and I think he's just a horrible, mean person. Okay, now Fido. Honestly, I was gonna put Kaido in horrible roommate tier, like straight off the bat, because of the absolutely atrocious alcohol problems. But honestly, I think I might be dead. Um, and and the reason I say that is because, like, again, not taking Hanako says into account, um, he still has a massive ass club, and he can still transform into a dragon at will. And if he gets mad, he's totally burning things down if I don't die first. So honestly, I think I'm straight up dead to Kaido. Okay, so Haku I think is the only member of CP9 that is going to go in great roommate tier because he is by far, in my opinion, the most chill and sensible seeming of all of them. He doesn't have a massive ego at all. Um, he's a pretty damn good fighter, and as long as he doesn't like transform into a giraffe in the apartment, then I think we have no issues to be honest. Khalifa, on the other hand, horrible roommate. Like I've made a complaint about a lot of these characters. They would smell awful, but like I also don't want the entire apartment to smell like soap, and I also don't want to be slipping on the floor because of the bubbles in soap that she makes all the time. On top of that, she's incredibly annoying and has an insufferable ego. Um, all right, now Jack Curry, it's either decent or great. I gotta think about it a bit. I think the thing with Katakuri is like if if I leave him to his business and he leaves me to my business and we have a certain amount of mutual respect for each other and our boundaries, then I think honestly, he would be a great roommate because Hannah Curry, he strikes me as a very loyal person. And he strikes me as someone that's very respectful. He's very honest. He's very diligent. Um, so I think once that like initial level of mutual respect has built up, and we give each other space when necessary, I think Katakuri could be a really good roommate. Okay, next we have Killer. Um, so name is obviously not super appealing, but he's also not like a crazy person that would try and kill me. I actually think he's a pretty darn chill guy, to be honest. Um, uh, he's like he's I don't know, just like I just get the vibe that he would be a decent roommate because nothing really inherently stands out about him, or at least nothing I can think of that is immediately like a insane flaw with him. Um, King, hmm. I do think King would have some anger issues. I'm gonna put King in mid because like I don't think he'd be that bad, like personality wise, but I think there's issues if like, he can't control his Lunarian flames or if he gets angry. Um, all right. Kizaru. So obviously the biggest issue with Kizaru is the fact that um he um he's lazy. Like Kizaru might be one of the laziest people on this entire list. Um, but I'm gonna put him in meh because I don't think it's as bad as a lot of these. Okay. Um, Koala. Um, I think Koala would be decent because, like Killer, there's nothing that to me about Koala that stands out as inherently insane. Um, so yeah. Okay. Kobe. I think Kobe, like Helmeppo, would be a fantastic roommate because I think that, he's very responsible, he's very kind, um he's very, very friendly, and he's not insane. So, I actually think Kobe would be a really good roommate. Okay. I'm trying to tell. Is that Yasob? No, yes up is right there. Okay. Um, I, I I'm not completely sure who that is. Oh my God, Don Krieg would be fucking awful. So, not only does he have a terrible ego, but I think by far the biggest issue with Don Krieg is the fact that is all of his fucking weapons. Like, I have no doubt he probably has at least one WMD somewhere within his body. Um and and uh there is no way in hell he does not have on top of all the weapons like some shady business involving those weapons. Heck no on that. Um, Kumadori horrible. Um, super annoying. I don't even need to say anything else about that. Um, Puma, one of the best roommates. He would probably go up in this tier. Like I said, I'll evaluate the end of the video, but like he would probably go up there. To be honest, like you know, you don't need to fucking explain anymore. It's like plus he's a cyborg, and that's always cool. Okay. Um, Reha. Hmm. So Reha is a funny one because I I think Kureha would be a decent roommate. Like nothing about Kureha strike. She doesn't have a crazy ego, and like as long as you don't say she looks old and occasionally compliment her appearance, I think that it's pretty easy to get along with her. Plus there's the fact that she is a doctor, which is extremely helpful. Um, so yeah, I think Korea would be decent. Kuro, Kuro, I know for a fact is gonna room with me. Um, act super nice and glamorous by pretending to be my butler, and then he's gonna assassinate me. And actually, in that sense, I think I'm just dead. Because I think he's just I think like he would care so little about me that he would just like plot to kill me and then get the apartment himself. And he would do the same exact thing if anyone else moved in after I was murdered. Um, okay. Lafitte, Lafitte I am not ranking because you change this so I don't remember enough. Lafitte I'm not ranking because we literally like know next to nothing about him. Um, is, is that yeah, okay, this is Law. Okay. So Law would be extremely chilled out. He's a doctor as well, which is extremely helpful. He might get a tad lazy, um, but I think he would be a decent roommate, to be honest. Leo, I think is a fantastic roommate. Honestly, like the Tintana are like one of the most ridiculously loyal races in all of One Piece. So I think like genuinely, there is like no issue, with him being a roommate at all. Um, okay, Rob Lucci. So Rob Lucci would probably have some ego problems, but I don't know. Based on Egghead, I feel like that has like I feel like it's kind of leveled out a bit. Um, he clearly has very good control over his devil fruit. Um, he may have some anger issues, but honestly, uh, I I think he would be half decent. I think it's another situation like Buggy, where like if we're left to our own devices, then we're gonna be fine. Lucky Roo, I don't see any reason why he can't be a fantastic roommate from what I've seen. He just seems like an absolute vibe to be around. Okay, big one, very very big one, Luffy. Um, so obviously Luffy is a fantastic guy, has a great personality, super super nice. The biggest issue with Luffy, as should be immediately obvious to literally everyone, is the fact that he eats so much food. Um, and like, yes, and honestly, if you probably would need to get a walk on the fridge, um, um, but like, despite the fact that like a lock on the fridge is an instant requirement, I think Luffy would be a good roommate. I really do. Just because he's such a kind person and he's so nice, and the other Straw Hats dealt with it on the Going Merry and 1070 for long enough, so I feel like I can. And actually, I'm moving Luffy down here because I forgot Luffy does not shower, and he'll probably forget to pay the rent on time. But we definitely can get a lot worse in this list. Um, Makino, I see no reason why she can't be a decent roommate, to be honest. Um, because she's just, I don't know much about her, but like kind of like Kalala, she's just a nice person that I don't feel like would cause them any problems. Marco, oh man, Marco, bro, he would be one of the best. Marco is the GOAT. Like, not only does he have one of the coolest devil fruits, he's also a doctor, which, in case you couldn't tell, that's clearly high points in my book. He's super chill. He would never forget anything. And he would just be, it would just be a great friend in general. I would fucking love to be just like besties with Marco. Um, so Mihawk is like very like I think out of all the characters on this list, Mihawk would be like the most loner. Um and I don't think that's an awful thing. I do think he's kind of lazy. And I think that's the big thing. I'm not gonna put him down here because I don't think he immediately tries to kill you, but I think if you annoy him, he might. Which is why I say minor issues. Um, Momonga, I don't really know enough about the rank. Okay, back to the stinkers. Gecko Moria would be absolutely horrible. Um, Actually, no, no. In fact, you know what? I'm just straight up dead because he's totally gonna use me as a shadow puppet. Um, he would totally kill me and then use me as a shadow puppet. I think I'm dead. Okay, Bon Clay, a little bit eccentric, but like obviously great roommate. He's literally he would be like the best of friends to you, and I think that is wonderful. Bon Clay to go. Um, okay, now Nami. So Nami would be fantastic if you want to know the weather for the day. You would not need a weather app on your phone, although that's not really that big of a deal necessarily to have that versus not and like checking it. Um, the biggest issue with Nami is definitely her money obsession. Like if you do literally anything for her, like I feel like the issue with Nami is like if you ask her to do chores, like one chore, then she would make you do um 10 times more chores in addition to paying her back with like in addition to paying her money for asking her to do that in the first place on top of like just a 300% like interest rate. Um, so that honestly, like, I love Nami's personality, but honestly, I think those things would make her a horrible roommate. Um, Now Nojiko, I think, is just like the much more chill version of Nami. I think Nojiko would make a great roommate. I also think Hachan would make a great roommate because he's an amazing cook and he's extremely nice and he wouldn't hurt a fly. Um, I don't remember enough about that guy to properly rank him. Um, if I had Ors as a roommate, I'm just fucking dead. This is like possibly the least realistic thing in this entire list. Who is that? The Pacifista? Same thing, I'm probably dead. Um, okay. So Sully obviously has debt collectors running after him, which is not ideal. But he is a shipwright, so he can help repair things. Um, um, so I think Polly would be a decent room. I think he'd be kind of fun to have around. Um, Hell, I think Pell would be decent because he's a very loyal and nice guy. Oh God, Corona, horrible, absolutely horrible. Horrible ego, horrible personality. Um, like, and not to mention the devil fruit and the fact that that completely ruins your mental health on a day-to-day basis. I cannot tell who that is based on the picture. Rayleigh, obviously goated roommate. I don't need to say anymore. Okay. Riju, Riju's a very nice person. Um, and so I think she'd be a decent roommate because of that. I don't know who that's supposed to be. Ryuma is dead, and so I physically cannot rank him. And no, I'm not doing Prime Ryuma because that's ridiculous. Sabo, obviously, go to roommate. For very similar reasons to Ace, to be honest. Um, uh, oh my God, a China? I, hmm. Okay, I gotta think about this for a second, but like, Akainu would be horrible. Akainu possibly has like one of the worst personalities on this entire list. He's he's so like horribly mean, and like judgmental and discriminatory against everyone. And also he would be honestly like the reason I say I think I'm dead is because um he would burn down the apartment like for sure. Uh Who is that? Sanji. Okay. Um, I think Sanji would be a decent roommate. The only reason he's not up here is because of smoking. I think the smoking thing would present a huge issue, but at the same time, you're getting top quality meals every single night. But like, if it's like a no smoking thing, then I don't think it's that big of a deal. Um, but obviously, like he's a big perv, which is also not ideal. So like, but I am still putting him in decent because he's an incredibly kind person. Um, is that? Oh, Sengoku. Okay. Um, I don't see any reason why Sengoku is not a great roommate, to be honest. I think I think I think Sengoku is just really chill, and especially if you happen to room if I happen to room with him while he's like in retirement or something, then you know, I think that would be like great, honestly. Shanks would be a great roommate as well. Super chill guy. Me be a bit bad on the alcoholics, but like I don't think it would be that big of an issue. He's not that big of a partier, unlike Ivankov. I think he'd be a great roommate. Um, Johnny slash Yosef. Uh, Yosaku, I think was his name. Um, I think they'd be decent roommates. Might be a tad annoying, but would be fun to have around. Shiryu is definitely up to some shady shit, and I think I'm probably dead. Smoothie, I don't really care enough. Spondon, absolutely horrendous. Oh my God. He would be so fucking annoying. Um, Stussy, the only issue with Stussy is I think that someone might try and come and kill her, so I'm gonna say minor issues for that. Um, who is that? What the hell? Who is that? What? I cannot tell who that is from the picture. I don't know enough about Suyu to rank fairly. Same thing with Aruj. Um, Usopp, like, there's no reason Usopp would not be a fantastic roommate. Um, there's nothing that, like, really, that, like, in IRL apartments, realistically, that he would need to be crazy scared of. So, there's that. Um, he's super loyal. He's a great friend. He's super funny. He's pretty good with tutoring things. I think he's a fantastic guy to get as a roommate. Um, I don't know why, but Van Onker feels like I'm just dead. I don't know enough about this to rank him fairly. Wapple would be incredibly annoying. Uh, I'm trying to speed through these a little bit. I think Yasop would be decent, but like for some reason he strikes me as having more alcohol problems than Shanks or Lucky Roo. Um, Yanji, same exact reason as Ichiji, and um, I'm gonna go ahead and put. Uh, is Niji even on this list? Uh, I don't even think Nietzsche's on this list. Um, Zeph, I mean, like, great. He's just a chef. Like, there's no issue with Zeph whatsoever. Okay, Zoro. All right. So obviously, big issue like Luffy is that he has alcohol problems. Luffy now, but I meant like He doesn't shower like Luffy. He has alcohol issues. I'm gonna put him in minor issues because he is still very nice, and but the weightlifting might get a tad annoying. Caesar, I'm dead. Caesar is absolutely using me for some kind of experiment. Um, Caribou, I want to kill myself. Um, Caribou, in my opinion, is the absolute worst One Piece character of all time. Um, Corazon, obviously he smokes well, like a lot of people in One Piece smoke. Fantastic roommate, absolute vibe setter, great guy. Dellinger and probably same thing with Diamante. They have crazy egos and they would not be fun to live with. Um, Fisher Tiger, absolute vibe. I think he'd be really fun to root with, to be honest. The Pharaoh guy from Impel Down, no, yeah, oh, he'd be really annoying, I think. Kinemon, I think Kinemon would be a great roommate, honestly. Um, I think he's a very nice guy, and he's very very loyal. Um, he's also just very like honest. He doesn't really have anything like crazy going on. Orange Jr. is meh. Um, because like he's just too freaking big. And obviously like not taking animal sizes into account here, but um, you know, I don't I don't think that he's necessarily very um intelligent. I don't know why. Like I don't really care for that one so much. Magellan horrible. Like oh my god, dude. Within the first week, he makes us have to move out of the horrible plumbing. That's if I don't die by the poison first. I'm not gonna put him down here because it's not that extreme. I don't think. Like his personality isn't that bad, but like um okay. I have no idea what the hell that thing is. Pedro, I think Pedro would be a decent roommate in all honesty. I don't see that many problems with him, realistically. I cannot tell who that is. Uh, he probably tries to kill me. Um, I don't know who that is. Rebel, I would want to kill myself. Virgo has a horrible personality. Super egotistical. Probably has some shady shit going on. And um, I can't really tell. Is that supposed to be Frankie? I don't know who that is. Okay. Well, I'm very disappointed that Frankie is not on here because to be honest, I'll let you know straight up, Frankie would probably be my top choice. But now, the all important decision. We are going to pick, let's say seven, because there's quite a few of these here. We pick my seven favorite roommates out of this list. They're going to go in the best here. So, first one up is Marco. For all the reasons I explained. Leo, because he is the most loyal and honest, like, roommate that you could probably get. Um, Puma, because he's incredibly nice and will do, like, fucking anything for you. Um, Thabo, because he is just absolutely incredible. Um, Rayleigh, because he's just the king of vibes. Um, Now let's see. Uh, I think Bon Clay, um, for all the reasons I mentioned, and uh, hmm, hmm, uh, let's see. The last one I want. This is a really hard choice. I'm gonna pick Usopp, I think, because I don't think you can get like better best friend material than Usopp at a certain point. But I think my absolute top choice is Marco, and if I were to order these, I think it would be probably like that. Um, and if I were to order the bottom six, um, you know what? I will move another one down here just to match it. Who do I want to move down? Um, probably Judge, 'cause he has such a horrible personality. Um, so absolute worst, Caribou, then Absalom, then I think Foxy over Fukuro, Trouble over both of them for sure. Hawkins and then Judge. And Yeah. Um, that is my complete tier list. Wow, this is a long video. Holy crap. Thank you very much for watching. If you stick around for the entire video. Like I mentioned in the Star Wars one, if you have any like things you want me to rank One Piece characters as, Star Wars characters as, or if you want me to do like a different set of characters and rank them as roommates, or even mix those together and rank a new set of characters as something else, let me know in the comments. Hopefully you enjoy it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.